Have you ever laid awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you're getting enough sleep? Or maybe you're sleeping more than ever, but still waking up exhausted. If you're over 70, these questions probably cross your mind more often than you'd like to admit. Here's something most people don't realize. The amount of sleep you need changes as you age, and getting it wrong could be affecting everything from your memory to your heart health. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested anymore. It's about staying independent, keeping your mind sharp, and adding quality years to your life. In this video, we're going to uncover exactly how much sleep seniors over 70 really need, why it matters more than you think, and what happens when you get too little or too much. We'll share real stories from people who've been right where you are, and we'll give you practical steps you can start using tonight. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what your body needs and how to give it the rest it deserves. So let's dive in. Here's what the research tells us, and it might surprise you. Most seniors over 70 need between 7 and 8 hours of sleep each night. Not 5, not 10, but that sweet spot right in the middle. This isn't just a suggestion. It's backed by years of scientific studies showing that this amount of sleep gives your body the best chance to repair itself, protect your memory, and keep your heart strong. When you consistently get 7 to 8 hours, your body has time to do its nightly maintenance work, clearing out toxins from your brain, balancing your hormones, and strengthening your immune system. Now, you might be thinking that you've been getting by on less sleep for years, and maybe you have. But here's the thing. As you get older, the consequences of poor sleep start catching up faster. You might notice you're forgetting names more often, feeling unsteady when you walk, or just not quite feeling like yourself. These aren't always just signs of aging. Sometimes they're your body crying out for more rest. I once knew a gentleman named Robert who was 78. He used to brag about only needing 5 hours of sleep. He'd wake up at 4 a.m. every morning, read the paper, and start his day while everyone else was still dreaming. But over time, Robert started having trouble remembering his grandchildren's birthdays. He'd get frustrated more easily, and his doctor noticed his blood pressure creeping up. When Robert finally listened to his doctor's advice and started giving himself a full 7.5 hours in bed each night, something remarkable happened. Within just a few weeks, his mood lifted, his memory improved, and he felt more like his old self again. The change wasn't overnight, but it was undeniable. Your brain and body are doing critical work while you sleep, work that simply can't happen any other way. So when people say sleep is a waste of time, they couldn't be more wrong, especially as we age. Now, let's talk about what happens when you don't get enough sleep, because this is where things get serious. When you regularly sleep less than 7 hours a night, you're not just tired. You're putting yourself at risk for a whole host of health problems. Your memory starts to slip because your brain doesn't have enough time to file away the day's experiences. Your balance becomes shakier, making falls more likely. Your immune system weakens, leaving you vulnerable to every cold and flu that comes around. And perhaps most concerning, your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and even dementia goes up significantly. It's like trying to run a car without ever changing the oil. Things might seem fine at first, but eventually the damage catches up. Think about Martha, who was 73 and thought sleep was something she could skimp on. She'd stay up late watching her favourite shows, then force herself up early to start her day. Martha wore her busy schedule like a badge of honour. But after months of this pattern, she noticed she was struggling to keep up with her book club discussions. Words that used to come easily now escaped her. Her knees hurt more, and she felt irritable with people she loved. It wasn't until her daughter sat her down and had a frank conversation that Martha realized she needed to change. Once she committed to getting proper sleep, it was like a fog lifted. The pain didn't disappear completely, but it became manageable. Her mind felt clearer, and most importantly, she started enjoying her days again instead of just surviving them. If you're still with me and finding this helpful, do me a favor and comment number 2 below. It helps me know you're getting value from this, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Your support means everything and helps us keep creating content that truly matters. Now let's keep going. Here's something that surprises most people. Sleeping too much can be just as dangerous as sleeping too little. If you're regularly sleeping more than 8 or 9 hours a night and still feeling tired during the day, that's a red flag. Studies show that people who consistently oversleep have higher risks of heart disease, stroke, and depression. But here's what's really happening. It's usually not that you need more sleep. It's that the sleep you're getting isn't good quality. You might be tossing and turning all night without realizing it, or you could have a condition like sleep apnea that's disrupting your rest. Your body tries to compensate by keeping you in bed longer, but it never quite catches up. I remember hearing about a woman named Dorothy who was 81. She started sleeping 10 to 11 hours every night and taking long naps in the afternoon. Her family thought maybe she was just getting the rest she'd earned after a lifetime of hard work. But Dorothy wasn't feeling rested at all. She was withdrawn, uninterested in her garden, and kept making excuses not to see friends. Finally, her son convinced her to talk to her doctor. They discovered she had severe sleep apnea and early signs of thyroid problems. Once these were treated, Dorothy went back to sleeping a normal amount and, more importantly, she felt like herself again. She was back in her garden, calling friends, and living the life she loved. The extra sleep hadn't been helping her. It had been a symptom of problems that needed attention. So, if you find yourself sleeping much more than you used to, don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor. It could be something simple, like a medication side effect, or it could be pointing to something that needs treatment. Either way, understanding what's happening is the first step to feeling better. Your body is trying to tell you something, and it's worth listening. Creating a bedtime routine that actually works for your changing body is one of the most powerful things you can do for your sleep. As you get older, your natural sleep rhythm shifts earlier. You might find yourself yawning right after dinner or waking up before dawn even when you'd love to sleep in. This isn't a flaw. It's just how our internal clocks change with age. Fighting it only makes things harder. The trick is working with your body, not against it. A good sleep routine doesn't have to be complicated or fancy. It's really about finding simple, calming activities that tell your brain it's time to wind down. Maybe it's taking a warm shower, sipping chamomile tea, listening to soft music, or writing in a journal. The key is doing these things at the same time every night. Your body loves consistency. When you go to bed and wake up at the same times each day, even on weekends, your internal clock gets stronger, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up naturally. Let me tell you about Eleanor. She was 76 and had spent years struggling with insomnia. She'd lie in bed with her tablet, scrolling through news and checking emails until late at night. Some nights she'd eat dinner at 9 p.m, other nights at 6. There was no rhythm to her evenings. Her doctor suggested she create a simple routine, and Eleanor was skeptical at first, but she tried it anyway. An hour before bed, she'd dim the lights, put away all screens, and read a few chapters of a book she'd been meaning to finish. She ate dinner at the same time each evening and went to bed at 10 p.m. sharp, no matter what. Within 3 weeks, Eleanor noticed she was falling asleep faster and waking up feeling more refreshed. The anxiety she used to feel about bedtime started melting away. She'd finally found a rhythm that worked. When you have a routine, you're not just helping your body sleep better, You're giving yourself something steady and predictable in a world that often feels chaotic. There's comfort in knowing what comes next, and that comfort translates directly into better rest. So think about what relaxes you, what makes you feel safe and calm, and build your evening around those things. Your body will thank you. If you're finding this information valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss our videos. Every comment and subscription helps us reach more people who need this information. Thank you for being here. Now, let's continue. What you do during the day has just as much impact on your sleep as what you do at night. And this is something many seniors don't realize. The choices you make from the moment you wake up, how much you move, what you eat when you see sunlight, all of these things are building blocks for the night ahead. If you want to sleep well, you have to live well during your waking hours. It's all connected. Physical activity is huge. Even gentle movement, like a morning walk or some light stretching, sends signals to your body that help regulate your sleep-wake cycle. You don't need to run marathons. Just moving your body regularly helps you feel more tired at the right time of day. And sunlight, oh sunlight, is like magic for your internal clock. Getting outside in natural light, especially in the morning, helps your brain understand when it's time to be alert and when it's time to rest. On the flip side, too much caffeine, especially after lunch, can leave you wired when you want to be winding down. And those afternoon naps that seem so tempting, if they're too long or too late in the day, they can steal sleep from your night. I knew a woman named Joyce who was 77. She loved her coffee and would have a cup after lunch and sometimes even after dinner. She'd spend most of her day indoors, watching TV or doing puzzles, and she'd take a 2-hour nap every afternoon. Then she'd wonder why she couldn't fall asleep until midnight. When her doctor walked her through her daily habits, Joyce was shocked at how many things were working against her sleep. She started taking a 20-minute walk after breakfast, switched to decaf after noon, and limited her naps to 30 minutes in the early afternoon. The difference was remarkable. Within a month, she was falling asleep by 10 p.m. and waking up feeling genuinely rested. Your daytime habits create a foundation for nighttime rest. Think of it like tending a garden. You can't expect flowers to bloom if you never water them or give them sunlight. The same is true for sleep. When you move your body, eat well, get sunlight, and avoid things that disrupt your rhythm, you're essentially watering the garden of good sleep. And just like a garden, it takes a little time and consistency, but the results are absolutely worth it. Now, here's the most important thing of all. You need to listen to your body and know when it's time to ask for help. Yes, 7 to 8 hours is the goal for most people, but everyone is a little different. Some people genuinely do well with a bit less, others need a touch more. What really matters is how you feel. Do you wake up refreshed and ready for the day? Can you stay alert without struggling? Do you have energy for the things you love? Or are you dragging yourself through each day, forgetting things, nodding off at odd times? Your body is always talking to you. The question is whether you're listening. If you've tried everything, built a routine, improved your daytime habits, and you're still not sleeping well, it's time to talk to a doctor or a sleep specialist. Problems like sleep apnea, restless legs, anxiety, or even side effects from medications are incredibly common in older adults, and they're all treatable. But you have to speak up. Too many people suffer in silence, thinking it's just part of getting older. It doesn't have to be. Let me tell you about George. He was 82 and would wake up choking or gasping for air several times a night. He brushed it off as normal aging. His wife finally convinced him to see a specialist, and George was diagnosed with sleep apnea. Once he started treatment, it was like he'd been given a new lease on life. His energy came back, his mind felt sharper, and he could finally enjoy his days without that constant fog of exhaustion. Getting help changed everything for him. There's no shame in reaching out when something isn't right. In fact, it's one of the bravest and wisest things you can do. Your sleep affects everything: your health, your relationships, your happiness. You deserve to feel good, and sometimes that means asking for support. Trust yourself. If something feels off, it probably is, and there are people who can help you fix it. If you're still watching and getting something out of this, comment number 6 below. And please, if you haven't subscribed, do it now and turn on notifications. Your engagement helps us create more videos like this one that can truly make a difference in people's lives. Thank you for being part of this community. So here we are at the end, and I want you to take a moment to think about your own sleep. What stood out to you today? What's one thing you can change tonight or tomorrow to start sleeping better? Remember, good sleep isn't a luxury. It's essential for everything you want in these years: a sharp mind, a healthy heart, steady energy, and the joy of living fully. You've earned the right to feel your best, and sleep is one of the most powerful tools you have to make that happen. Whether you need to adjust your routine, pay attention to your daytime habits, or reach out for help, every step you take matters. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me one thing you learned and how you plan to use it. Your stories and thoughts inspire us and help us create even better content for you. And if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe so you never miss our next video. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Sleep well.